presented by AfterBuzz TV, where integral members of the WWE, Kathy Kelly, Sonya Deville, and Christy St. Cloud started their careers. This is Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly, the first online pro wrestling show dedicated to all things women's pro wrestling, showcasing news and interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz's own gorgeous hosts of wrestling.
Bonjour! You are watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 show talking about women's wrestling on this planet.
You got something to say about that?
Why does everyone always look at me? I have come to terms with the fact.
Do you have something to say?
That this is the #1 show on the planet.
All right, cool. I like that. We have an amazing show like we always do. My hair is like taking me back. We have Star of the Week. We're gonna talk a little bit stuff here and there. For you guys who don't know, my name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin. Over here we have the Rebel Without a Cause, Sarah the Rebel.
It is I.
And America's chocolate sweetheart, Evan T. Mack.
What's going on, TK? What's up?
Nothing much. And so we have nothing but illustrious guests that come on the show every single week, and this week is no exception. She is the plus-size Pam Grier, cute in the face and thick in the waist, a.k.a. Big Booty Trudy. Please welcome Faye Jackson.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So let me tell you how I discovered you. So, I'm on Instagram, just, surfing through, women's wrestling. I'm not as diverse as Sarah, knowing all the people, So I saw you and I'm like, okay now. The outfits were on point. The attitude was kicking, like in a good way, not in like a bad way. And I was like, we need to get her on the show.
Yes.
So thank you so much for getting on the show. At first when I contacted Faye, she's like, I don't know, I might be going to the Beyonce concert, so I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
I totally understand. I completely agree. I was like, no, you definitely let me know, because Beyonce comes first, because she's a queen in all of our hearts. Just, putting,
I mean, you see the shirt, so.
Yeah, putting it out there. So, kind of tell us how you got into, the career, because I believe you've been wrestling a little over about 2 years or so?
Yeah, a little bit over 2 years. Well, I started off as a manager, so I've been in the business for a little over 4 years now, but I've been wrestling for 2 years. So I started as a manager, started as Big Booty Trudy, and I got approached about, making money, and if I wanted to make some more money, and I had like the quote unquote charisma for it, that I should start wrestling and start training. So I decided to look up some schools that actually had like a good reputation and try to learn from the best that was in my area, and that happened to be the Ring of Honor school, so decided to go there.
Wow.
And now, one of your hashtags is F your beauty standards. And
yes.
I think you did mention or reference in previous interviews that you do modeling and stuff like that. Have you experienced any, racism, sexism, or even, based off of, you're not the quote unquote standard, size 2? Have you experienced that from, different promotions? And what do you do, or what have you done if you did experience that?
You mean in modeling or in wrestling? Because I can give you both.
Oh, let's start with wrestling, then we can go with modeling.
Okay. In wrestling, yes. If for some reason, not to put any promoters out there or anything, but sometimes they feel like they have their quota on color. So if they have their quota on color, they'll probably just completely ignore you, or just tell you hey, we got this person and this person, even though we could be completely different styles. I'm not like anybody else. I don't compare myself to anybody else. But, it happens. And at the end of the day, if that's what they want, that's what they want. I'm not going to beat them up for it. I'm not going to beg them for it. It is what it is. I just go on to the next promotion.
And then in the modeling industry?
Oh, yes. Because I would say being plus size, that I'm typically not considered a plus size model because I'm 5'4". They consider plus size models to be 5'10" and above and be the same stature. And not only that, I hate to say it, but I went to a couple of casting calls and they say I have like a unique look. And when they ask me what my ethnicity is and I tell them I'm African American, they were like, oh, well, I thought you were Dominican. Or I thought you were.
That's like African, no.
That's something, something else.
Yeah, I was about to say, where do y'all think Dominicans
you're not
come from?
enough.
I have no idea.
I've had that happen a lot.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting, man. I don't know. A lot of people still don't realize, like, you know, when people getting taken from Africa, they were like dropping them off at different places.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I gotta say to dark-skinned Latino people all the time. I'm like, where you think this color right here came from?
You from Africa? I wouldn't spoiler alert.
Let's not get into all that.
Why not?
There's some folks that are denying, so let's not go into that history.
Man,
So now that a person says that, do you just kind of go with it and say, yeah, I'm Dominican, or you're like, nah, F that, I'm black?
No. Hey, look, I'm black and I'm proud all day. So either you take it or you don't, but I'll never hide my blackness, ever.
I feel like you should have cued that James Brown song.
I know, right? No, that's the first thing I thought about was James Brown. That's the first thing I thought about.
So one of the first, well, actually not the first. I've actually also seen you a lot on Instagram. But one of my favorite pictures of you is kind of recent. You're wearing what looks to be like leather. Is that an actual like leather outfit? And can you wrestle in that? Like.
Yes, I just debuted that outfit, and yes, I can wrestle in it.
So do you do like
it's
a
hot,
test?
literally.
That's what I was gonna say. Isn't it warm?
So do you do like a tester? Like, do you test the outfit in the ring?
I have to.
Okay.
I'll take it to training with me, or I just take it somewhere where I know that I'm going to be running around a lot, just to see if it gives me breathing room to move in.
And now your very first match was on television, I believe it was?
Yes, it was.
Tell us about, how did that experience come? Because, I mean, a lot of people, both women and men, are not afforded that opportunity. So obviously, whoever put you in that place had a lot of faith in you. So how did that opportunity come about? And, you know, what were you thinking before, you know, you headed out to the ring?
Oh, thinking petrified. Especially when they tell you, I'll give you like a brief synopsis of it. So I'm training at the Ring of Honor school, and we're going over moves that I should do, moves that I shouldn't do. And then my trainer at that time, Delirious, goes, oh, well, by the way, your first match is coming up. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then the next week I come to training, and he's like, yeah, so I decided your first match should be against ODB. And I'm like, okay, like what? Like, you know, she's been all over the world. So he preps me for that for like a month or two. Then we finally get to Nashville, and I look around and I see it's like this big production. Like they brought a brand new set, and it was just like in awe at that time. And he tells me that day, oh yeah, we're taping this for national TV. What? Excuse me? Like, what? I'm not ready for this. And he's like, yeah, you are. You'll be fine. And then he walks away. So that was the experience of finding out that you're going to be wrestling on national TV. Looking back at it, it was okay. I mean, it was my first match. So ODB is a goddess in my book. Like, she's one of the people I actually did tape study on, just because I loved her character. I love her, everything that she does. So for me to have my first match against her was like such a blessing.
And now, as far as when you got in the ring, did it kind of almost go on like autopilot, whereas you put in so much training that like I'm just doing it, or did you have moments of like what the heck is happening? Like, you know, I don't know what's going on.
I think when I first got in the ring, I was kind of just like, why am I here? I think you could tell on my face, unless they like edited or something at the beginning, but you could definitely see like I just looked scared. But during the match, it's kind of like, I guess you do kind of go on autopilot, because it's like, all right, I know I can do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. So it's kind of I would say robotic in a sense, because I'm just thinking about the things that I need to do and should be doing to like do this match. But at the same time, it's like I'm brand new, so I don't know anything about, look at the camera, do this, take a moment to breathe and all that. No, I'm just like, go, 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 get this over with because I'm scared.
So did you have any more influences as far as people that you wanted to literally kind of give you like your character, or like who like influenced you to like kind of develop who you are, especially if you're still kind of like starting out, but like, is there anyone that kind of you can talk about that kind of give you like inspiration besides ODB?
There's quite a few people. I would say definitely Maria Kanellis. I would say her and my trainer at the time definitely had like a back and forth about me, because he wanted me to be like, in a sense, like Awesome Kong. And nothing against her, but, I'm just not that. Like, she comes off as like this strong personality and just almost terrorizing in a sense. Like, that you're not going to win this fight, when with me, like, people just naturally like me and approach me. And Maria was like, she's, I don't know if I can cuss on here, but she's like, she's effing hot. So you're not going to see this anywhere else. You need to promote like her. You need to promote her image. She needs to be seen as a beauty standard, which kind of helped like with the F Your Beauty Standards thing. Like, she's like the new like image of wrestling. And if it wasn't for Maria giving me that confidence, I don't know how I would feel by myself in wrestling.
That's awesome. Women uplifting women. We need more of that.
Oh, definitely.
Exactly.
Now, fairly new into the business. What do you think of the whole? I mean, Impact Wrestling's been doing it. We have Shimmer. We have a lot of different women's promotions. But it was announced that WWE's going to have their pay-per-view promotion that's going to be coming up. I believe it's in October.
Yes.
What did you think about that? And what are your kind of hopes for your career? Are you hoping to do traveling around the world, indie circuit, Impact? What's your goals with that?
I'm glad WWE is finally doing like an all women's pay-per-view. Like, that's dope. Like, that just shows how far we have come in this business. Like, I grew up watching Jacqueline and Sable and Terry and Lita and Trish, and we went from having bra and panty matches, which, hey, I'm still entertained by them. I don't shun them at all. To like wrestling matches. So that's awesome. And as far as my career, like, I just tell people I go as far as God takes me.
Okay.
Like, my first match was on national TV. A lot of people can't say that, especially being brand new in the business. So for me, it's whatever. Like, I just try to do the best I can, try to promote myself the best I can. If people want to book me, if people like me, if people want to see me anywhere else, like, hey, just holler at me. Like, I'm happy where I'm at right now. Would I like to go to the top? Absolutely. Like, anybody that says they wouldn't, I wouldn't call them liars, but who wouldn't want to say they reached the highest peak of their career? But at the end of the day, like I said, I just go where God takes me.
When you have a free moment away and you're not modeling, you're not wrestling, you're not like watching Beyonce, like what do you do? What do you do like in your spare time?
Sleep. That's exactly what I do. I sleep.
And now, who are your if you can envision anybody that you want to have a match with, who would be your top 5 people?
Oh, can I throw men in there too?
Yeah, men or women, yeah.
Okay. Definitely The Rock if he came back.
Oh yeah, you and me both.
I think it would both just be entertaining as hell, and it would probably be hysterical. I would love if Awesome Kong decided to come back. I definitely would love that match too. Who else? I'm going to say this because I get tweets about it every day. But I'm just put her on the list, and this for y'all. Nia Jax, because I get tweets about it every day. Like, every day. And I think it actually would be a good match.
Yeah.
Yes.
Will it ever happen? I don't know. I can't predict the future, but I get tweets about it every day.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'll put her on that list. Who else? I think Braun Strowman.
Oh my gosh, that would be good.
Because I just show that I'm never scared ever. I'll just take on anybody. I'm never scared.
There's another entrance
And
Seriously.
my quote unquote, I guess manager slash pain in my ass, Stokely Hathaway. I would wrestle him. See, he can wrestle. I would wrestle him too, but I just want to beat the bricks out of him.
And now, kind of, at what point in your life made you want to become a wrestler? Like, were you like a kid watching wrestling where you're like, this is what I want to do? Or was it, a promotion that came on? Or what kind of made you actually want to actively pursue it?
I grew up watching wrestling. I grew up watching WWE, WCW. I would stay up on a Saturday night at 1 a.m. and with my antenna try to watch ECW because it didn't come in clear.
I remember those days.
So I always pictured myself doing it. But at the same time, my family's like, I was probably like one of the only people that watched wrestling in my family. So that for one, they didn't understand that at all. And then for me to like briefly talk about it, like, hey, I think I want to do it. Like, no, you're going to go to college. Yeah, no, you're going to work. No, you're going to do this. So finally, it took me to move. I'm originally from Ohio. So it took me to move about 500 miles away from my family to be like, I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens with it. Either it works or it doesn't.
Nice. And now you have made it kind of known at the beginning of the year that you wanted to kind of change your workout regimen as far as eating and also switch out your trainer. Were you successful in kind of doing those stuff, and where are you on those goals?
Yes, I have. I watch my carbs, watch what I eat. But I'm still a lover of food at the end of the day, if you can't tell. My trainer, I actually train with Homicide now, and when I tell you he beats my ass on a regular, yeah, that's what I had to go through. But it makes me tougher in the ring, makes me stronger in the ring. So usually I like, not to sound apologetic, but afterwards, after any match, I'm just like, I'm sorry if I actually punched you in the face. Or I'm sorry if I did my half crab and it actually like hurt you to your core because I got a lot of weight behind me. But I was taught, it's called, he calls it shoot wrestling, where you actually feel the pain. So I do a lot of that now.
And now, what do you think it takes to make an amazing wrestler?
What was that?
What do you think it takes to make an amazing wrestler?
You gotta be dedicated. It's like a constant dedication of wanting to train, not only going to school, actually working out, have a routine of like food and diet, and then also doing a lot of studying. Like wrestling's a full-time job. Even if everybody that's on the independent scene wrestles maybe every Saturday or every Friday, at the end of the day, you still gotta go to training at least 3 times a week. You still gotta go to the gym at least 4 or 5 times a week. You still gotta watch any and all matches at all time.
Goodness.
All right, so now we have a little bit of a game. It's going to be rapid fire. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. You're going to kind of say the first thing that comes to your mind. So,
Are you sure?
and swearing is allowed. We're good with that. So always early or always late?
Always late.
Last person you text?
Stokely.
What is the one thing that you really love about yourself?
My personality.
Celebrity you want to meet?
I thought you were going to say something else.
I mean, you could add that in too, whatever works for you. Beyonce. Last TV show you binge watched?
Orange is the New Black.
If you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Purple.
Cake or ice cream?
Cake.
And if you were on death row, what would be your last meal?
Filet mignon with crab legs and shrimp, and a big old mango rita, and a piece of cake.
Now that's living large.
Yeah, that's it right there. That is the answer right there.
Yeah, we can retire that question.
So for you, just in case you don't know, we've had a lot of people on our show. This is about the 24th show. A lot of people from our shows, they went on to go to different promotions. They went on to Mae Young Classic. So, we like to think that our show is kind of magical and, making things happen. We don't make any calls because we don't have that kind of, I don't have that
secret.
Yeah, we are. So is there anything, I know you said, it's an all, God has, planned, but if you had that magic wand, is there anything that you kind of want to do in the next 6 months to a year that, we might be able to assist in? Not really, but really.
Maybe work for more women promotions. Hopefully Shine, hopefully Shimmer, hopefully Stardom.
All right.
And maybe get a tryout with WWE. I don't know yet. I'm still deciding on that because I've heard a lot of things, and I'm fat. Athletic, but I'm fat. And y'all ain't gonna kill me.
Right, exactly. 9 to 5 working out. No, thank you.
Well, like I said, you put a lot of stuff out there. So we'll see whatever mojo we have here that something happens for you. But we really appreciate you for coming on the show. You are officially a friend of the show. This is the season 1, so we're definitely expecting you to be on season 2 to let us know the good news. Don't be afraid to tweet us the good news when it comes.
Tweet.
Because like I said, things happen around here.
Fairy Godmother podcast.
Yeah, right. You put that wand on me. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, just saying. But yes, like I said, thank you so much for coming on the show. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, Faye Jackson 419.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And hopefully, next time Beyonce comes in town, it's gonna be like the full show. And because she is
tornadoes
the best.
And hopefully no tornadoes or anything like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
They was not playing with the rain in New Jersey, and they're gonna have a tornado somewhere. And I'm like, look, I done seen a lot of Beyonce concerts, so I guess I can kind of skip this one. I don't want to be rained on. Plus, I'm resting my ankle, so just go home.
All right, Evan, thank you so much. Evan, hit us up with a little something.
Going on, AfterBuzzers. Our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But now we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one of our more YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that is tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel, and check out our other YouTube AfterBuzz channels, YouTube as well. Let us know you did in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
All right, Miss Sarah.
Hit my music, maestro.
What it do?
Our Women's Wrestling Weekly Star of the Week is Princesa Suhei. The Mexican luchadora normally works as a ruda, or heel, wrestler at CMLL, but WWE fans may recognize her from the inaugural Mae Young Classic, where she was defeated in the second round by Mercedes Martinez. The 21-year veteran made her professional wrestling debut in 1996. I believe I was 8. She primarily worked for Lucha Libre AAA, one of Mexico's largest wrestling promotions, and in 1999 she participated in AAA's first ever Reina de Reina, Queen of Queens, tournament. Over the years, she unmasked 4 other women. Oh, that's a tradition. If you're not familiar with lucha, you sometimes wrestle for a mask. And if you're unmasked, you do not wrestle again with your mask. She was herself unmasked by Zayuk.
Thank you so much, Miss Sarah. Our poll question, not necessarily a poll question, but this is more of a challenge to you because we're coming up to the end of season 1. Who do you want us to interview again? So meaning we've had a lot of guests on the show, a lot of illustrious guests on the show. We had Gail Kim, we had Tyler Valkyrie, we had Madison Rain, we had Ariel Monroe. So we have a lot of people on the show. Trying trying to think of like my Canadian folks. We had a lot of Canadian folks, but anyways,
Like 20 of them.
my bad. We had a lot of people on the show, so just hit us up in the poll question. Let us know who you want to see on the show, and let us know as far as past guests, and then maybe we'll have another poll question as far as like future guests. I know somebody hit me up and they're asking me when Trinity's going to come on the show. Don't worry, she's in the back pocket. We're just waiting for a little something pop off, and then it's gonna.
I don't know if y'all can see the intensity in TK's eyes.
Don't worry,
going down.
it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. Where can everybody find you, Miss Sarah the Rebel?
I am Sarah the Rebel. You can find me everywhere at Sarah the Rebel, and you can also buy me a coffee in ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/Sarah the Rebel.
I thought you was like, buy me. I was like, what?
You can also buy me on the Russian Bride site. Oh no, PC culture.
Oh my God. Shout out to your boy, Evan T. Mack, Instagram and Twitter. Holla your boy.
It's just so
Yeah, no.
Because he can't pick on me anymore. He's got nothing else.
I told her I wasn't gonna mess with her anymore. We're not gonna steal her thing.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
she got you in the back alley.
I threatened him.
Okay, all right, cool.
No suplexes, no swinging net breakers from Miss Rebel.
So don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WPW Weekly, Instagram Women's Wrestling Weekly. Follow us on AfterBuzz TV /Wrestling and Sports. Go on YouTube, put all those comments there. Definitely will catch up on all those comments, but definitely appreciate you guys for leaving those comments. iTunes 5 stars or better. Thank you guys so much for listening on iTunes. I know we get like crazy amount of people listening to the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Damn,
so
Skippy.
It's because of you guys, because we can come here and nobody listens, and then we're not the number
it's
one.
It's definitely all y'all.
So it's all you guys. Other than that, you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. This is so close to the end of season 1, season 2. It's gonna be amazing.
On and poppin'.
Other than that, we will see you guys next week. Ciao.
From executive producers Kevin Undergaro, Maria Menounos, Phil Svitek, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Mark Donica, your voice of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling, we ask you to rate and comment on iTunes, subscribe to AfterBuzz Wrestling on YouTube, and find us on all social media. Thank you for watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. See you next week.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.